Welcome back to Winners and Losers, the show that looks at the highs and the lows from around world football. This weekend, Van Straten is back in the hot seat. He's not been here for a while, and we're starting with Man City, are we, Pato?
Yes, we are. This comes from Ashley Folds, a regular here on Winners and Losers and on Euro Roundup. Check that out also. And obviously, yes, we have to start with the 6-0 drubbing of Watford by Man City. And Watford have been pretty good defensively up until now, hadn't they? But in this game, oh my God. They took 6 shots. They conceded 28. They took 1 shot on target. They conceded 10.
10 shots on target away from home.
Now, the last time City scored 6 in the Premier League was 2 years ago, which is mental, really, that in the last 2 years they've also scored 6. That was against Newcastle, okay, when they were truly terrible. And in the last week, Man City, 3 games, aggregate score, 15-0.
Feyenoord, 4. It was at Liverpool, 5. And then these bunch of idiots, Watford 6.
Oh, come on, man. Like, what are they going to do? Sergio Aguero and Gabriel Jesus, like, at the beginning of the season, we were like, this looks like a really kind of contrived formation, right? Like, it looks a little bit awkward, and clearly Pep's done it to get Gabriel Jesus and Aguero on the pitch at the same time. But now you think that was worth the effort. Like, they look absolutely majestic together. And Gabriel Jesus' Premier League record, 15 games, 11 goals, 4 assists.
Yes, it's ridiculous.
Messy numbers.
And that's still not as good as Sergio Aguero. I mean, Sergio Aguero is ridiculous. On the weekend, completely unplayable. Hat-trick and 1 assist. That's actually his 6th Premier League hat-trick ever. I think that puts him 3rd or 4th in the highest amount of hat-tricks in Premier League history. He loves playing against Watford. I was being a little bit harsh to Watford, calling them idiots earlier. He has now got, bear with me on this one, 9 goals in 5 games against Watford.
Yes.
That is absurd.
Oh my God.
He's been in such scintillating form, he's now scored in 8 consecutive away league games for Man City. And there's one man he can thank for that. It's Kevin De Bruyne, who is incredible, by the way. Pep Guardiola obviously coming out midweek saying he's one of the best players he's ever worked with, and he keeps getting better. Since the start of 2013-14, he has registered 57 assists. That's actually the most of any player in Europe's top 5 leagues. He's been absolutely incredible. He's been so good, in fact. He's already got 3 years left on his current deal that Man City and Pep Guardiola have already offered him another 5-year deal.
Fair enough. Just
to keep him at the club because the market has exploded so much. This is looking like Man City could run away with it. But Man United is still in the hunt. Let us know who you think is going to win the Premier League. Is it going to be City? In the comments below.
First up in our losers section, it is Liverpool. This comes from @SFinally, Finley, Finale, don't know. Spelling issues here. Joe, tell us about what Liverpool.
Yeah, shocking performance on the weekend. Actually, it wasn't a shocking performance, it was a shocking result. 1-1 at home against Burnley. This was a classic Liverpool. Couldn't beat the smaller teams. This is what cost them last season, of course.
Sure.
I mean, in this game, they had 35 shots on goal. That's a whole 30 more than Burnley, and only managed to convert the 1. They had 70% possession. They really have to be winning these games. In fact, Klopp made a huge 7 changes to his starting 11 that flopped against Manchester City and got battered 5-0. Of course, Coutinho returning to the side after he handed in a transfer request and wanted to go to Barcelona very publicly. He actually had 6 shots of that 35, and all of them seemingly were from outside the area. I actually saw a shot map, and they're all about 25 yards out in classic Coutinho fashion. The Oxlade-Chamberlain effect as well, some people were mentioning on Twitter. Let's just talk about that quickly. Is he cursed? No, he's not. He's just been part of 2 poor teams over the last 3 weeks. So a little bit unlucky for the Ox, but I have to say I thought that Liverpool really missed Sadio Mane in this game. They missed his explosiveness in behind, his ability to stretch the game. What he does give Liverpool is the ability to pull into the channels, and it leaves a lot of room for Roberto Firmino.
Yes.
And that's where Firmino is absolutely fantastic. Where Liverpool aren't fantastic is at the back. 9 goals conceded in 5 league games.
Whoa.
They are just leaking from centre-back areas. Klavan, Lovren, Matip, not title-winning level central defenders. They've been battered by the press this weekend, and rightly so at the back, in my opinion, Pato.
Yeah, one team is absolutely phenomenal at the back, though, Burnley. They've taken points from Liverpool, Spurs and Chelsea, all on the road so far this season. That is absolutely amazing. That will keep you up if you can carry on doing it. But obviously in this game had to ride their luck a little bit. They got that goal from Arfield when they went ahead after 27 minutes only had 5 shots in total. So after they got that goal, they were like, we'll sit back, we'll put 11 men on the line, see what happens.
Do that every week as well. Did it against Palace last week?
Well, they should just bring on like 3 sumo wrestlers and just stack them up in goal. Like, that would be absolutely perfect. But Nick Pope, the young Pope, 25 years old. What a performance from him. He made 8 saves, which actually shows how few of Liverpool's shots were landed on target. They scored 1, they had another 8 on target. That's out of 35. So you can see that these shots weren't from particularly great areas. Whereas Burnley, on the other hand, didn't have to work that hard to get chances themselves. They only had 2 corners, but both of them were dangerous. Deliveries from Robbie Brady, and Mee was denied twice.
Yes, but that's classic Liverpool. Just can't defend set pieces, and they've never been able to under Klopp.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. You looked at Liverpool, and after that Arsenal game, you were like, these are 2 teams on completely different trajectories. And you'd have thought as well, Burnley would really struggle. Definitely. Now Liverpool are on 8 points, Burnley are on 8 points too, Arsenal on 7 points. Like, it's really compressed, and Liverpool could have gone into that top bracket, you know, with City, United and Chelsea. They've passed up the chance, and now they're stuck. They really need to pull some results out of the bag soon. Where are Liverpool going to finish? Can they pull this out of the bag? Is Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain a witch? Let us know what you think in the comments below.
Our next winner was suggested by Benji Gribbin on Twitter. He's a regular contributor, and he says Dybala, Pato, for a winner. What do you think?
I think that after Juve beat Sassuolo 3-1, and Paulo Dybala scored a hat-trick, his second hat-trick of the season, he has to be in our winners. Now, Juve have won their last 3 Serie A meetings with Sassuolo. They've conceded only 1 goal in that time, but this game was relatively even. They had much more of the possession, but they had 14 shots, Sassuolo had 13. They had 6 on target, Sassuolo had 4. What Sassuolo did not have is Paulo Dybala.
Incredible.
It's his 100th game for Juve. He got his 50th, 51st and 52nd goals for the club in all competitions. He's now the first player to score on each of the first 4 Serie A match days since Luca Toni in 2005-06. And is that not the season that they were relegated because they'd broken the rules?
They're a bit cheeky.
I don't think Luca Toni should really get that much credit for that.
Yeah, he has been unplayable though. That is, of course, what Max Allegri came out and called him in the press over the weekend. And he's 100% right. Like you said, Pato, back-to-back hat-tricks away from home for Juventus in Serie A, of course, getting one against Genoa and now against Sassuolo. The 23-year-old only had 4 shots on the day. 3 of them went in the back of the net, and 2 of them were absolute scorchers. One of them really reminded me of Ronaldinho. Ball's rolling across his body, first time, cross himself into the top corner, worldy. Then a free kick, absolutely majestic. Doesn't get better than that. To wrap up the hat-trick, runs over and celebrates with his subs bench. He's on absolute fire. In fact, he's the first player since Wayne Rooney for Manchester United in 2011-12 to score 8 goals in the first 4 matches of any of Europe's top 5 leagues. That is how on form he is.
Ronaldo and Messi have never done that?
Ronaldo and Messi
not in the last 5 years?
Have never done that in the last 5 years.
That is
Since
mental.
Rooney, it's only Paulo Dybala, and Paulo Dybala keeps getting better and better. How long Juventus can hold on to him remains to be seen, but what we all know is he's an unbelievable player.
Next up in our losers, it is Everton. Yes, the Toffees are in a sticky situation after they lost 4-0 to Man United. Thanks to @Ydallion for this one. Joe, take it away.
Yeah, Everton, what to say about them? They've been in a terrible, terrible run of form and are apparently undergoing crisis talks with Ronald Koeman already. Despite the fact he spent, 150 million pounds in the summer, they are languishing in 18th position in the Premier League with the joint worst goal difference in the entire league. That's -8. In fact, their last 4 games in all competitions, 12 goals conceded, 0 scored. That's the first time that's happened in 11 years. They've, of course, lost them all. Attacking-wise, they're all over the place. Seriously, the least shots of any team in the entire Premier League before this game. They've scored just 4 goals in the last 10 Premier League games under Ronald Koeman. They haven't won away from home in 11 matches under Ronald Koeman. They're in all sorts of trouble. At the back, they're an absolute shambles. They are so deep. When we were playing them yesterday, they literally lined up on the edge of their own 6-yard box from the first minute. Ashley Williams, Michael Keane and Phil Jagielka. Somebody tell those to get out. Pickford needs to just go, get out! Because they're not moving. Ashley Williams is just walking.
Is Koeman in danger, though? Is he really in danger?
He could be in danger. I genuinely think he could be in danger. Some of their play yesterday was actually okay in the middle areas, in the middle of the park.
They've got good midfielders.
Quite like Idrissi Gueye, quite like Morgan Schneiderlin, a little bit limited. Sigurdsson, horrendous yesterday. But at the back and up top, there's just nothing. There's nothing going on. They're relying on Rooney to counter-attack. They have
built a squad really badly. But here's my thing with Everton, right? I think Everton finished 7th last year. They've still got a good shot of finishing 7th this year. The last 4 games that they've lost are all games that you'd sort of expect them to lose, except maybe Atalanta, who are really good.
Yeah.
And so what people are complaining about at the moment is the manner of those defeats.
Manner of the defeats.
And that's just optics. That's just like how it looks. It's not what actually matters. Like, do they care about goal difference if they finish 7th? No, not really. Were they ever going to get into the top 6? No. And especially in this game, Man United away, they haven't got a chance. Man United weren't even at their best. They're missing Paul Pogba.
They're very poor.
And it's already their 3rd 4-0 win of the season. 9 of their 16 Premier League goals have come in the last 10 minutes of games. That actually reminds me of Ferguson.
Yes.
Apparently in the old days, Ferguson used to set up his teams fitness-wise so that just the last 10 minutes of games, they would have energy left and their opponents wouldn't. He would specifically do that, and he'd stagger his substitutes specifically for that goal, and they're doing it again. They're so good. I mean, Romelu Lukaku.
He was giving it beans.
Oh, but he was getting some shit, wasn't he?
He was getting shit all day.
I don't blame him at all. He's got 5 in 5 for Man United in the Premier League. And as much as I hate seeing Man United be good, I love Romelu Lukaku. He's so good. Anthony Martial as well. 5 games, 124 minutes on the pitch. 3 goals, 1 assist.
Ridiculous.
3 goals, 1 assist. He's involved in a goal every 31 minutes. He's more regular than the #1 bus, which takes me back to my house. It's absolutely mental. He's now 1 goal off his entire Premier League tally for last season. Nuts. Man United, you said that Man City might run away with the league, but at the moment it looks like the only team capable of stopping them are Man United. What do you guys think? Can United win the league? Can they beat City? Let us know who's going to win it in the poll just up there.
Our final winners of the day, up the tune. This comes from @GoonerJAH, who says Newcastle, Pato.
Yes, they're into the Champions League places. They've got 9 points, 3 wins on the bounce, beat Stoke 2-1. Thoroughly deserved result. It's actually the first time since 2000-2001, that season that we all remember well. Kevin Phillips, I think, got 30 goals. That Newcastle have won 3 out of their 5 opening Premier League games.
Come on, the team!
And that season they had Alan Shearer, mate. Now, Jamal Lascelles has been on fire recently. The match winner again. 2 goals in 2 games for him.
Yep.
Absolutely incredible stuff. Everything's going through Matt Ritchie at the moment. He's not a champagne player, but he assisted both goals. Got Man of the Match award.
Yeah.
He's got 4 assists already this season. That's the 2nd highest in the league after Henrik Mkhitaryan. What is happening at Newcastle?
Oh, what is happening at Stoke as well? They are just so poor away from home. Just 1 win in their last 11 away league games. 7 of those games as well have been losses. It's really, really unacceptable. Dominated possession in this game as well, 60%. And quite frankly, they're becoming over-reliant on Shaqiri's 30-yard screamers, because without them, they've got little to nothing going forward. They had 16 attempts on goal in this game, and it was Shaqiri who got them out of a sticky situation, even though they still lost. He's obviously scored on the day from outside the box. In fact, his last 6 goals have all come from outside the box, so he doesn't score tap-ins. But you look at that front line. Did Mark Hughes really improve it enough? Choupo-Moting, okay, pretty average. Scored for 2 against United. He's got Mame Beramjuice playing as a wing-back.
Sure.
He's got Hesse, not quite had the impact some were hoping he would have. He's got rid of Bojan. It's just not quite worked in terms of the strikers that he's signed over the last few years. I mean, the miss from Choupo-Moting towards the end is an absolute horror show. He has to score. Stoke at this stage need a striker who just finds consistent 10 to 15 goals a season, and they will be absolutely fine. But they couldn't buy one this summer, and they haven't been able to buy one since Peter Crouch, mate. And now Peter Crouch is like 35.
If only they had Cameron Jerome, eh? Aaron Toomey brings our last loser this week, and it warms my heart. It's Tottenham Hotspur after they drew 0-0 at home with Swansea.
Yes,
Ugh.
the Wembley curse, or the Wembley Premier League curse as it's now known. Obviously, they beat Borussia Dortmund midweek.
Very lucky.
3-1, slightly fortunate. What was fortunate was that they didn't win this weekend for us. 75% possession in this game, 26 shots to Swansea's 4. I mean, absolutely absurd numbers they were pumping out. This is the first time that Tottenham have failed to score at home in 30 Premier League games. And Harry Kane couldn't do it on the weekend. Hit the beans on toast yet again for what must be the 100th time. Heung-min Son had 7 shots in this game.
7 shots?
7 shots. I mean, 17 of Spurs' 26 shots, though, did come from outside the area. What you would say, though, Swansea offered little to nothing going in the opposite direction. In fact, Hugo Lloris didn't make a single save or a single catch. Pato, what's going on with Swansea?
Well, Lucas Fabianski was quite a bit busier.
Yes.
He made 8 saves, claimed the ball once, and he got the Man of the Match award. Now, Swansea, away in the league, this is since April 30th, okay? Shots faced, 90. Goals conceded, 0.
What's happening?
What is going on?
What is going on with the world?
Paul Clement is doing some voodoo, mate. Anyway, Fabianski got his first clean sheet against Tottenham since the 13-14 season. He's actually conceded 15 in his previous 5 games against them for Swansea. So normally, the Swans get absolutely pumped. But in this game, it was all hands to the pump. Oh! 42 clearances, 16 blocks, 26 tackles and interceptions.
That's obscene.
They didn't have a shot on target. It's the 3rd game this season where that's happened.
That's an unacceptable stat.
Is that good? I feel like it's not good. And though that said, they've actually got points in 2 of those games. But still, I feel like over the course of a season, not getting shots on target is not a recipe for success.
Yes.
Anyway, this was their lowest ever possession figure in the Premier League since they were promoted in 2011. Of course, we think of the Swansea way as keeping the ball, playing it around. They could not do that in this match. But Renato Sanchez, things are looking up for him. 5 dribbles.
Not hard.
5 dribbles.
It's not bad.
What's
it's not bad against Tottenham Hotspur.
5 dribbles, 2 tackles, 2 interceptions, the second most touches of any Swansea player. I assume the first most touches of any Swansea player.
Fabianski. Definitely, probably Fabianski.
But anyway, well done to Swansea. Unlucky Spurs, you're in our losers.
So that's all the time we've got for on today's winners and losers. Pato, who are you talking about in Euro Roundup today, big man?
We are talking about Barcelona. Ooh, things are not looking great for them. We've also got Napoli, and we've all got all the best action from around Europe's top leagues.
So make sure you tune into that. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you later. Sayonara.